Stop scrolling. Scorpio, the universe didn't bring you to this video by accident. This isn't an algorithm guessing your feed. This is the exact moment in your cycle where things are finally taking off. But instead of relief, you feel a strange weight pulling you down. I see the heavy energy you've been carrying in silence every time someone aggressively praises your sudden success. You are about to discover the hidden truth behind those loud congratulations and how to protect the victory you are building right now. That sudden exhaustion right after sharing a piece of good news isn't just stress. Picture a bright lantern placed in the middle of a dark, overgrown garden at midnight. The moment the flame goes up, it attracts all the hidden things from the shadows that throw themselves against the glass, trying to extinguish it because the light exposed their hiding spots. You will discover why the loudest compliments often hide the heaviest intentions. You will understand the exact mechanism that drains your energy minutes after you share a piece of good news. You will learn to identify the 3 smiles that are not rooting for your success, but waiting for your fall. You will receive the map to shield your aura and continue growing without having to hide your light. And before this message closes, I will say one sentence about your life that you will carry with you for the next few months. Have you ever felt that there is a heavy, chilling sensation wrapping around your shoulders that increases precisely when things start taking off? As if a voice inside your head is telling you to hide your own victories so people won't feel threatened. But your soul knows their discomfort is not your responsibility. And what if this sudden exhaustion, the fake smiles, and the urge to shrink aren't just the stress of success, but a clear signal that the universe is trying to show you the spiritual envy that is suffocating your Scorpio momentum? While many just accept this drain as the price of doing well, few realize that every fake congratulation can carry a hidden anchor, a silent drain on your energy, and a spiritual siege that hasn't been cut yet. But what if the great turning point is in this revelation that you haven't been able to apply yet? Now think with me. Why does everything stall in my life precisely when it is about to work out? What if every exaggerated compliment that felt like an insult, every friend who went silent when you won, every sudden wave of exhaustion after sharing good news, every urge to hide your own light, and this constant sensation of having to apologize for your own success were signs of a spiritual envy that you have ignored for far too long? It was searching for answers to this that I found this digital book called The Great Secret Behind the Spiritual Envy Against Scorpio. This book is not just a read. It is a revelation created for Scorpios who want to understand the hidden mechanism behind the fake applause, cut the invisible cords of jealousy and silent sabotage, shield your aura, so you can finally expand your life without having to apologize for your brilliance. Many Scorpios already feel that they need to protect themselves from this energy that surrounds them, but they still haven't made the decision to download the digital book. Download it right now. It is available in the first pinned comment. But attention, the access could be taken down at any moment. It reveals reflections, hidden signs, and directions that can transform the way you carry your own power. Don't wait for another major victory to be drained by the wrong eyes before you seek protection. Click now, download your copy, and discover why the heavy envy that tried to dim your sudden success might just be the exact proof that the universe has given you a light far too powerful to ever be hidden in the shadows. You are still processing this right now, with that familiar chill of recognition on the back of your neck. If this first word has already touched something deep inside you, write "My light is mine" down below in the comments. Not for me, but because another Scorpio who is exactly where you were a year ago needs this message to find them tonight. This path of protection has a map, and it is already within your reach in the first pinned comment. I will come back to it in a moment. And if for some reason you are not interested or cannot acquire the digital book right now, there is still another door open for you. I don't receive a single penny for any of these messages that I deliver here every day. Nothing at all. And yet they keep coming out every day, for you and for every Scorpio who still needs to be reached. If at any moment your heart wants to give back a little of what you received, there is a voluntary donation link open in the first pinned comment, right below the book. Any amount that fits in your hand today, any amount that your heart points to, that is what keeps this channel standing. That is what makes the next message reach another Scorpio tomorrow, exactly as it reached you today. I will wait for you there, Scorpio. I haven't even told you the most important part yet. There are 4 signs that this siege is already acting upon you, and you will recognize at least one. I want you to breathe slowly for a second and let the noise of the outside world fade away. We're going to look closely at the invisible dynamics that have been playing out around your recent victories. The universe is speaking through the reactions of those around you, and Scorpio never misses a subtle shift in energy. Notice how your body reacts to what I'm about to say right now, because there are 4 distinct signs that this invisible siege is already acting upon your field, disguised as ordinary, everyday interactions. You have likely experienced at least one of these in the past few weeks, but you probably brushed it off as a coincidence, a busy schedule, or just your own paranoia acting up. You thought you were imagining the weird vibe, but your soul knew exactly what was happening. Let's look at them. The first sign is the bitter compliment. Think about that family dinner at 8 p.m. last Sunday, where someone loudly said, "Wow, you're so lucky things are happening so fast for you," and the room temperature seemingly dropped in an instant. This wasn't a celebration of your hard work. It was their energetic field trying to minimize your effort and label your breakthrough as mere chance. You called it just a harmless, enthusiastic compliment, but the universe called it a hook, disguised as a hug, designed to make you feel like you didn't earn it. The second sign is the post-sharing drain. Think of that Tuesday afternoon when you finally texted a friend about your new promotion, your new relationship, or a major breakthrough. Instead of feeling energized by the sharing, you felt an instant wave of physical exhaustion hit your shoulders the moment you pressed send. For some of you, this unspoken envy shows up as a sudden crushing headache right after leaving a celebration dinner. For others, it manifests as a deep, unexplained insomnia the night after you announce a big win at work. This wasn't just a busy day taking its toll. You called it the natural stress of success, but the universe called it a spiritual toll you never agreed to pay. The third sign is the sudden silence. It is that group chat that went completely quiet the moment you posted your good news, followed by a sudden change of subject hours later, as if your victory never happened. This wasn't them being busy, away from their phones, or distracted by life. It was the collective weight of unexpressed envy trying to starve your light of validation. It is the unspoken agreement to ignore your growth so they don't have to face their own stagnation. The fourth sign is the urge to shrink. It is that sudden, inexplicable impulse you had yesterday morning to delete a post, cancel a meeting, or actively downplay your massive win to a coworker just so they wouldn't feel bad about themselves. This wasn't humility, Scorpio. It was your intuition sensing the sniper's laser of jealousy and trying to take you out of the crosshairs by making yourself smaller. You called it imposter syndrome, but the universe called it the heavy frequency of hidden envy, trying to force you back into the shadows. These signs have a common origin, and it has a name. But before the name, you need something else. There is a path of protection, and I am going to open it right now. Before the name, before the word, because anyone carrying the heavy weight of this silent siege needs relief before receiving the revelation. Stay. And it is exactly here that the path of protection opens. The signs that just hit you did not hit you by accident, Scorpio. You know exactly what I am talking about. That cold pressure on your chest that isn't just a busy day, it's a heavy field that closes in around you every time your light suddenly expands and threatens the shadows. It is as if a cold voice is constantly whispering in your ear, trying to convince you that if you just shrink a little more, if you just hide your success, the discomfort will stop and they will finally be happy for you. You have been carrying this invisible burden, thinking it was your own insecurity. But what if this sudden weight, this urge to make yourself small, and this strange exhaustion are actually a cosmic warning? A clear, undeniable signal that the universe is trying to show you the spiritual siege that is actively trying to drain your momentum exactly when everything was supposed to be easy. I have seen Scorpios who were exactly where you are right now. Scorpios who worked in complete silence for years, who built their foundation in the dark, sweating and bleeding for every inch of their progress, only to see everything start shaking the moment they finally stepped into the light and shared their victory. They thought they were doing something wrong. They thought they were sabotaging their own blessings. They thought they simply didn't deserve to hold on to the gold they had mined. But they weren't broken. They were just walking into the crosshairs without any spiritual armor. They were offering their purest victories to eyes that were completely infected by jealousy. The rooms that went quiet when you shared a win. The relationships that turned cold as you leveled up. The heavy burden of carrying stares that nobody dares to admit. This is a siege, and you cannot fight a spiritual siege with ordinary logic, forced smiles, or endless apologies for your own brilliance. It was searching for answers to this that I found this digital book called The Great Secret Behind the Spiritual Envy Against Scorpio. This is not about ignoring the hate or pretending that the heavy energy doesn't affect you. This is a precise map to understand the hidden mechanism behind the fake applause, cut the invisible cords of jealousy and silent sabotage, and shield your aura so you can finally expand your life without having to apologize for your brilliance. Because there is a universal law that governs your current cycle. Envy cannot steal a victory that is protected by silence and boundaries. The siege only works when you mistake a predator's gaze for a friend's applause, and you need to seal this energetic field right now, because this cosmic window does not wait for you to feel ready. Every single day without this path is another drop of your vital energy feeding a field that wants to see you fail. Every new victory you share without this shield is an open invitation for their hidden resentment to attach itself to your aura and drag your frequency back into the mud. Every week that passes without cutting these cords is another heavy, silent toll you pay just for daring to grow and step into your true power. You are bleeding momentum, Scorpio, and you are bleeding it to people who smile brightly at your face while they secretly pray for your downfall in the shadows. You simply cannot afford to leave your gold unguarded for another minute. You have to cut the cord before it cuts your acceleration. The digital book is in the first pinned comment. Download it right now, while this word is still alive in your chest, and while your intuition is screaming that this is exactly what you need to break the cycle. Click the link and secure the unbreakable shield around your victories that only this specific path maps out completely. You can feel the truth of this in your chest right now, can't you? Notice how your breathing is already starting to change just by acknowledging the invisible weight you have been carrying for so long. The lantern you lit in that dark, overgrown garden is brilliant, and it is rightfully yours. You do not have to shatter the glass, dim the flame, or extinguish your own massive power just because the hidden things are throwing themselves against it in a panic. The light is not the problem, Scorpio. The light is your ultimate destiny. All you need is to make the glass thick enough so their desperate hits bounce right back into the darkness where they belong. Breathe in that profound relief. You are not crazy, you are not cursed, and you are certainly not failing. You are simply unprotected in a moment of massive, undeniable expansion, and that changes today. And just as I told you earlier, Scorpio, besides the digital book that is in the first pinned comment, there is that open voluntary donation link right below the book. I still don't receive a single penny for each message that leaves here for you. That is why this link exists, so that another Scorpio tomorrow finds exactly this message that found you today. Any amount that your heart points to. Each gesture like this keeps our channel standing and makes the next message reach whoever needs it, exactly as it reached you today. The next layer goes deeper. And now, with the path laid out before you, the name descends. You called it imposter syndrome. You called it just a harmless, enthusiastic compliment. You called it the natural stress of success. But the universe called it the heavy frequency of hidden envy. It is not bad luck. It is not a cosmic punishment. It is not your mind playing tricks on you. It is the Watcher's envy. This is a highly specific, targeted spiritual siege that activates the exact moment your light becomes too bright to be ignored by the people around you. The Watcher's envy is dangerous precisely because it does not announce itself as an enemy. It does not attack you with open hatred or obvious malice. Instead, it arrives wrapped in enthusiastic support. It is the Trojan horse of praise. This siege operates in 3 distinct layers that you are navigating right now, completely blind to the spiritual warfare happening in the background. Layer 1 is the loud, exaggerated praise. It is the compliment that feels completely out of proportion, delivered with a smile that never reaches the eyes. designed specifically to make you question if you actually earned your place. Layer 2 is the silent, energetic drain that immediately follows. It is the invisible leak in the ship's hull. It is that sudden wave of physical exhaustion that hits your shoulders, or the group chat that goes completely quiet the moment you share your good news. But Layer 3 is where the true danger lies. Layer 3 is the subconscious attempt to make you sabotage your own momentum. It is that quiet voice whispering that it is all going to crash soon, forcing you to shrink, hide, and downplay your achievements just to make others comfortable and stop the invisible drain. This is the exact mechanism that drains your energy minutes after you share a piece of good news. But there is a crucial detail that no one has told you yet. The Watcher's envy is not a specific friend or family member actively plotting against you. It is the energetic field of hidden resentment that latches onto your sudden acceleration. It is the collective weight of unexpressed jealousy from people who are suddenly forced to look at their own stagnation because you decided to move forward. Picture a bright lantern placed in the middle of a dark, overgrown garden at midnight. The moment the flame goes up, it illuminates everything beautifully. But within seconds, the moths, the shadows, and the hidden things rush toward the glass. They hit it relentlessly, aggressively, not to admire the flame, but to extinguish it, because the brilliant light exposed their hiding spots. That lantern is your sudden success. Those desperate hits against the glass are the heavy, backhanded compliments you have been receiving all week. This is exactly where you are right now, Scorpio. You thought your light was attracting a celebration, but it was just exposing the shadows of the people standing closest to you. But hear me well. The lantern does not need to dim itself to survive the night. It just needs a thicker glass. I saw you instantly downplay your own massive win to a coworker because your intuition warned you that celebrating out loud in that room wasn't safe. I watched you carry the guilt of your own success, apologizing for the sun being too bright, shrinking your power just to keep the peace. You thought you were protecting them, but you were only feeding the siege. Your victory was never meant to be hidden, and the exhaustion you feel is the absolute proof that your light is terrifying to those who refuse to grow. There is a man who carried this exact same siege for years, bleeding his energy without ever knowing its true name. Every single time his business took a sudden leap, he would rush to share the good news with his inner circle. And every time, without fail, within 48 hours, a major client would drop, a deal would fall through, or his physical health would completely crash. He thought he was cursed. He thought he simply did not deserve to win, or that the universe was punishing him for wanting too much. But it was not a curse. It was the energy of the people clapping the loudest that was silently sabotaging his field. What changed in him was not his ambition. He learned to build an invisible wall around his victories. He did not stop winning. He just stopped letting unprotected eyes look at his gold. He understood the fundamental law of this cycle. Envy cannot steal a victory that is protected by silence and boundaries. The siege only works when you mistake a predator's gaze for a friend's applause. You are feeling that exact shift in your breathing right now, with the sudden clarity that you are not losing your mind, but finally seeing the invisible cords that tried to pull you back into the dark. The deepest truth is still ahead, and it has your name. But understanding the siege is only half the battle. The true revelation comes when you finally recognize who you are inside this dynamic and why your specific energy attracts such a complex web of hidden resentment. You are not just a passive victim of other people's jealousy. You are the catalyst that forces them to face their own shadows and to stop apologizing for your light. You must first remember the exact identity you have been suppressing just to keep the peace around you. There are 3 forms your power takes when you are accelerating, and you have lived through all of them. First, you are the unapologetic winner. Scorpio does not reach the top by accident. Scorpio climbs through the sheer force of relentless will, bleeding and sweating for every inch of progress while others sleep. But your hidden vulnerability lies in the quiet guilt that always seems to follow the victory. That instinct to immediately look around the room and make sure your sudden success didn't accidentally hurt anyone else's feelings. Second, you are the silent architect. Scorpio builds entirely in the dark, designing massive empires in total secrecy while everyone else is busy talking about what they are going to do. Your struggle is that when your magnificent structure is finally revealed to the light, you expect a genuine celebration, but instead you are met with the heavy, bitter silence of those who secretly hoped you would fail. And third, you are the shielded star. Scorpio radiates an intense magnetic frequency that naturally commands the room the very moment you step into it. Yet, the heavy price you pay is constantly monitoring the room's emotional temperature, absorbing everyone's unspoken insecurities, and instinctively dimming your own massive presence just so the people standing next to you don't feel completely eclipsed by your natural brilliance. You're all three of them, constantly carrying the immense weight of a power you were taught to apologize for. Notice your chest right now. Take a deep breath into that space. That sudden warmth spreading through you has a name, and it is called reclamation. You are finally dropping the heavy, exhausting burden of managing everyone else's fragile egos while you do the sacred, necessary work of expanding your own life. But this identity that was just declared over you needs to be sustained, because the Scorpio who knows their own value without knowing the siege that surrounds them goes back to carrying stairs that are not theirs. To truly walk in this power, you must seal the cracks where their unexpressed envy tries to leak in. That is exactly why I am pointing you once again to the digital book, the great secret behind the spiritual envy against Scorpio. It is waiting for you in the first pinned comment. This is the precise tool you need to sustain the powerful identity that has just been declared over your life. Because understanding who you are is only the beginning. Protecting that identity from the energetic drain of those who refuse to celebrate you is the true mastery. Don't wait for the heavy stairs to return to back up what was just spoken over you. The cosmic window is open now, and the armor you need to walk freely in your success is already within your reach. Secure it now, and step into the light without ever apologizing again. I promised I would come back to this. But first, you need to know exactly how this cycle will try to return to drain you, because it will try. As I said, this cycle will try to return to drain you because it always tries to find a crack in your armor. Understanding the siege is the foundation, but now you need to know exactly how it operates in the real world when you step away from this screen. The Watcher's envy will try to slip back into your life through 3 very specific tactics over the next few weeks, and you must be ready to deploy 3 specific weapons the moment it happens. The first tactic is the exaggerated compliment designed to make you feel like you didn't earn it. Dirt is that backhanded praise wrapped in a tight smile that says, "Wow, you're so lucky. Everything just falls into your lap so easily." They desperately want you to agree. They want you to diminish your own sweat and label your massive breakthrough as a mere accident. Your weapon against this is the verbal declaration. The next time someone tries to reduce your victory to luck, you look them in the eye, and without a drop of anger, you simply say, "I earned my place." You do not justify. You do not explain your late nights. You just state the absolute fact and let their heavy energy bounce right off your unbreakable certainty. The second tactic is the sudden victim mode a friend enters right after you share your good news. For some of you, it is that co-worker who immediately starts complaining about their own stagnant career the second you mention your promotion. For others, it is the relative who brings up a past tragedy precisely when you are celebrating a personal victory, silently demanding that you stop shining so they can keep suffering comfortably. They are trying to attach a heavy cord of guilt directly to your joy. Your weapon here is the symbolic action. The moment you walk away from that draining conversation, you go to a sink and wash your hands with cold water. As the cold water runs over your skin, you visualize washing their heavy resentment completely off your energetic field. You leave their stagnation exactly where it belongs, with them. The third tactic is the internal voice whispering that it is all going to crash soon. This is the siege trying to use your own mind against you, making you believe that this sudden acceleration is a mistake that will be violently taken away by tomorrow morning. Your weapon against this internal sabotage is the silent smile that offers no explanation. When that heavy voice whispers, you do not argue with it. You just smile, knowing that your foundation was built in the dark, and absolutely no amount of spiritual envy can dismantle what you forge through sheer Scorpio will. These 3 weapons protect you from what I was able to show you today. But the cycle has more layers than can fit in one video. When the praise arrives with a bitter aftertaste, when the energy crash hits you right after a celebration, when the urge to hide your trophy returns, you need to know exactly how to shield your field completely against the forces you cannot see. This is why you need the great secret behind the spiritual envy against Scorpio. It is the complete map of the armor you are still missing, so this siege never catches you off guard again. I'm not rushing you, I'm warning you. Don't wait for the next wave of fake applause to finally open the map. This cosmic window is open right now, and the ultimate protection it offers is available in the first pinned comment. Secure it while the path is clear. Now I need you to stop learning for a moment and start feeling. I want you to close your eyes for a second. Let go of the tension you didn't even realize you were holding. Drop your shoulders right now. Take one slow, deep breath and let the heavy air out completely. We are going to clear the space around you because you have carried the weight of other people's discomfort for far too long, and it ends today. You have been walking through a dense fog of silent resentment, absorbing the cold stares and the fake smiles as if they were your own responsibility to manage. But this is the exact moment you stop apologizing for the brilliant light you generate. Keep your eyes closed, lower your defenses just for this brief moment, and stay with me in this safe space. I want you to imagine every loud, fake compliment, every jealous stare, and every heavy text message you've received this week as thick gray cords trying to attach to your chest. They are reaching out from the shadows, trying to anchor themselves to your momentum. Now visualize a massive, polished silver mirror rising up from the ground, right in front of you. As those gray cords try to reach you, they hit the mirror and instantly bounce back, returning at triple speed, straight to whoever sent them. The glass of your lantern is thick and unbreakable now. Feel the heavy weight lifting completely off your chest. Feel your breathing opening up, deep and unrestricted. Your field is clear. The light is yours alone. Release the heavy burden of carrying resentful stares that nobody dares to admit. Release the sudden, desperate urge to hide your own magnificent light, just to make the room more comfortable for those who refuse to grow. Release the deep guilt of feeling exhausted right after sharing a beautiful piece of good news. Release the constant, draining sensation of having to apologize for your own massive success. You are not shrinking back into the shadows ever again, Scorpio. You are stepping fully into the unapologetic winner, claiming your victories without a single drop of guilt because your soul knows you bled for every inch of your progress. You are standing firm as the silent architect, building your empire in the dark and revealing it to the light without needing anyone's permission, approval, or validation. You are rising as the shielded star, radiating your intense magnetic frequency without ever dimming your massive presence to protect the fragile egos surrounding you. You are still processing this right now with that profound sense of relief washing over you. Before we seal this, write down below the name of someone you are carrying with you through this crossing. Or if it is just for you, write in one sentence what you are expecting the universe to return to you. I will read it. And you are not going to write this alone. Don't let go of this energy just yet. We are not done. Stay with me. Your home is now sealed from the heavy, resentful stares that try to cross your threshold disguised as friendly visits. The relentless effort you put into the dark is fully protected from the invisible drains that wait for you in the light. The massive breakthroughs and the sudden accelerations that are about to arrive in your life are now completely blind to the spiritual envy of those who simply refuse to grow alongside you. I heard you when you silently apologized for your own brilliance, thinking that making yourself smaller would somehow bring you peace and stop the invisible drain. I felt the deep, heavy exhaustion that crashed over your shoulders every single time you shared a piece of beautiful news and the room went completely quiet. I saw you instantly downplay your own massive win to a coworker because your intuition warned you that celebrating out loud in that room wasn't safe. I watched you carry the profound guilt of your own success, wondering why I would give you so much momentum if it was only going to cost you the people you thought were rooting for you. But I never asked you to dim your magnificent light to comfort their unspoken insecurities. I did not accelerate your path and hand you these profound victories so you could hide your trophies in the shadows just to keep a fragile, fake peace. The heavy frequency of hidden envy you felt was not a punishment for your growth. It was the exact confirmation you needed. It was the absolute proof that you are carrying a light far too powerful to ever be ignored by the shadows again. I exposed their silence, their bitter, backhanded compliments, and their sudden urge to shrink you, not to break your heart, but to finally show you the truth. You cannot carry their unexpressed jealousy into the new cycle of massive expansion that I am opening for you today. The exaggerated compliment designed to make you feel like you didn't earn it ends here. The sudden victim mode, trying to attach a heavy cord of guilt directly to your joy, ends here. The internal whisper telling you that your acceleration is a mistake about to crash ends here. Scorpio has never gone unnoticed. Scorpio is not envied for being small. Scorpio is envied for carrying what few could bear. Don't let go yet. The universe has just told you, I saw you instantly downplay your own massive win to a co-worker because your intuition warned you that celebrating out loud in that room wasn't safe. And it is exactly for this reason that I need to remind you of one thing before sealing. What was cut here is real. But you know that heavy gaze that will try to latch onto your next big win by tomorrow morning. The world will try to convince you that nothing changed. It will try to make you believe that you still have to apologize for shining. It will try to pull you back into the exact same guilt. That is why your protection cannot depend on your memory alone. It requires a permanent, unbreakable shield. The great secret behind the spiritual envy against Scorpio is waiting for you right now in the first pinned comment. You need this digital book to sustain the massive shield that was built during this crossing so it doesn't shatter tomorrow. This is your definitive armor against the invisible siege. It seals your momentum, it cuts the drain. Don't wait for tomorrow to test the protection you've built today. Download it right now. Your light is far too precious to be left unguarded for another day. There are thousands of Scorpios listening to this right now, scattered across the world, standing in the exact same silence and feeling the exact same relief as you. You are not fighting this invisible battle alone, and you never were. If this voice found you today, and if you felt the heavy weight lifting off your chest during this crossing, subscribe to the channel. Not for numbers, but because the next message of this series will look for exactly the one who already crossed this first one. In the next video of this series, I am going to show you the exact physical sign that appears 3 days before a massive betrayal reveals itself, and why almost every Scorpio ignores it. Do not miss it. And still in this video, Scorpio, before I seal this hour with you, I come back one last time to this request. You have walked with me this far, you have crossed every word, every revelation, every sign. And if at any moment of this message you felt the universe touch you, you know this video was not an accident. The voluntary donation link remains open in the first pinned comment, right below the digital book. Not as a charge, not as an exchange, but as a giving back from the one who received to the source this message came from. Any amount your heart points to, and the universe sees every gesture. The universe sees, and the universe multiplies over your home, over your days, over what you don't even know is about to arrive. This was my last request. I'll be waiting for you there. Thank you so much. And when the heavy gaze tries to return to drain your energy, remember that the answer has a name, the great secret of spiritual envy, and it is already within your reach. The brilliant lantern in the middle of the dark garden is finally yours to keep, and the glass is now thick enough to withstand anything the shadows throw against it. Now you can let go. This message is complete. What was seen was seen. What was cut was cut. Walk light, Scorpio.